The following, clear your throat, Ron, is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good. Don't throw that away, Ron. Morning, afternoon, evening. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 14th day of April 2025. I don't know if it's Patriots Day in Massachusetts today or if that's next week. Anyway, we got ourselves a good one as we continue to motor along through the month of June in our 1956 replay. Herb Score and the Cleveland Indians are on the channel today on a gorgeous Saturday night in Cleveland. A sentence that probably doesn't get said that much. As they host the New York Yankees in this one. The Indians are still... Actually, I think the Indians are trailing the Red Sox. I didn't look. I prepare for my streams a great deal. Indians and Yankees, of course, are fighting for the American League crown as we rush now in a sprint to the All-Star game in July. The Indians and Red Sox and Yankees are about to do some tangling together as far as being together in the standings. And so Indians hope to hold off the Yankees and the resurgent Mickey Mantle and Yogi Berra in this one. So that's the setup for you. Hope you're having a nice day. It is 54 degrees. It was a gorgeous morning here in town. So if you're quite ready, it's hopefully 3 in a row this week during the day. Daytime ball. Today, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you're ready, let's do it. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1956. Today, from Cleveland's Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, it is the Cleveland Indians and the New York Yankees. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. Hello there, birthday boy. How are you? Mr. Demos had a nice round one yesterday, and Rory McIlroy gave him a heck of a birthday present. So the Yankees come into this one at 29 and 26. The Indians at 31 and 23. So by my math, this is game 56 for New York and 55 for the Indians. Don't know what's beeping out there. Herb Score gets the start. It's his 11th of the year. He's a third of the way through. At one point this year, he was 2 and 6. He's won the last 3 decisions, as that picture shows. Now 5 and 6 on the year, a 3.21 ERA. Herb is 23, is a hard thrower. Fastball at 94. I have no idea what's beeping out there. He last pitched in you know what? His last 3 appearances have been in relief. His last start was June 2nd. A 9-0 shutout of Washington. He went 7 2/3 that night. 131 pitches, 4 walks, 2 hits, 9 strikeouts to get the win. He pitched on the 13th in relief in a game I'm pretty sure that we did. 2 innings against the Red Sox, 29 pitches, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Yeah, we're all getting there. That's showing me with no viewers, but Demos is chatting. That's great. 81 and a third for Herb on the replay so far. 57 hits, 33 runs, 29 earned, 9 home runs, 41 walks, and 95 strikeouts. The lineup he'll face on this gorgeous 77-degree night in Cleveland. Gil McDougall will lead off at short for the Yankees. Norm Seaburn is in left. He'll bat second. It's the first time I believe I've called his name this year. Mickey Mantle is in center field. He'll go third. Yogi Berra behind the plate will clean up. Bill Skowron at first will bat fifth. Hank Bauer in right will go sixth. Andy or Max Carey, take your poison, is at third. He'll bat seventh. Jerry Coleman, Doctor, at second will bat eighth. Tom Sturdivant gets the call for the Yankees on the mound. He'll bat ninth. And Score can give you 150 pitches. Defensively for Cleveland, Gene Woodling, former Yankee, is a 6 and a 3 in left. Jim Busby is a 9 and a 7 in center. This is the time I believe Mr. Colavito was sent down. They ran him out on a rail, by the way, Rocky Colavito in 59 in a trade they still talk about. It's only been 65 years. Al Smith is a 6 and a 6 in right for the Indians. The infield, Al Rosen a 5 at third. Carrasquel a 6 and a 7 at short. Bobby Avila a 6 and a 6 in second. Vic Wertz a 5 at first. Jim Hegan a 9 and an 8 behind the plate. And Score, as we said, can give you 150 pitches. Not a good fielder. A 2 on the mound with a 909 fielding percentage. Score again. Just happens that those Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays is apparently when he liked to pitch an awful lot. Oop. Uh-oh. You retracted something. I didn't get the chance to read it. What will never happen, demos? McDougald hitting .335, 3 homers, and 14 RBI. And with a 16-game hitting streak. This is a matchup that would literally scare the two of them in about a year. Pitch to McDougald. Struck him out. That's how this one starts in 0-2. So for the Yankees, 29 and 26. It took forever for them to get to the right side of 500. But here they are. And the Indians at 31 and 30 and 23. Seaburn at 250 in limited duty. 3 for 12 with an RBI. Not sure why Casey would have gone with a lefty versus the lefty here, but that's what it is. Score deals. Struck him out. So we got a good morning and a good afternoon. Took something off that 1-2 breaking ball, and Seaburn tipped it in the glove of Hegan, 2 out. For Mickey Mantle, Mickey at 325. Not quite Triple Crown numbers yet. He does have 20 home runs and has driven in 49. Score winds and fires. Mantle in the shallow right. Smith will try for it. And got it! He got his glove on the grass just as it was about to fall, and all Mantle can do is just kind of tip his hat as he robs Mickey of a base hit, maybe a double. After half an inning, the Yankees go down in the first, no score. It will probably never happen, but if Action PC and a direct entry... Oh, my goodness gracious. Today, Digital Diamond got released, version 13. Yeah. You could do it with the Pocket Pennant software, although, good luck. If you own the season in Strat or Replay, you can do it that way. Imagine that. Yeah, that would be awesome. Played a ton of random 1893 games over the weekend. First year is 60 feet, 6 inches. Oh, nice. Were they still calling for a high or low? And what were you doing in Action PC or another game? Tom Sturdivant. The Snake is 26 as I'm choking, making his second start of the year. 2-0, a 3.05 ERA. Throws a decent fastball in the mid-80s and a fly ball pitcher. How you doing, Mike? Sounds like a typical Municipal Stadium, empty stands disguised as fans. You could put 30,000 there, and it would look that way, Mike, for sure. Sturdivant's been with New York since May 13th, making his second of 17 starts. He faced the Indians on June 10th and lost, or was losing on the team that got beat 13-2. Did not take a decision. 3 innings, 46 pitches, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 homers. This game would have been in New York, a walk and 4 strikeouts. His lone start before this was May 13th against the Orioles. 9 innings, a complete game 4 hitter, 121 pitches, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 2 and struck out 7. So Sturdivant, these numbers are rudimentary. 20 2/3, 15 hits, 7 runs, all earned, 3 homers, 6 walks, and 15 strikeouts. But if the Yankees are going to win the league, they need him to pitch well. Chico Carrasquel will lead off for Cleveland at short. Gene Woodling in left will bat second. Al Rosen at third will bat third. Vic Wertz at first will clean up. Al Smith in right will bat fifth. Bobby Avila at second will go sixth. Jim Busby in center batting seventh. Jim Hegan behind the plate batting eighth. Herb Score on the mound goes ninth. And Sturdivant, even though he only threw 158 in the third innings in his 32 appearances, can give you 150 pitches. The Yankee defense is this: Norm Seaburn a 6 and a 3 in left, Mickey Mantle an 8 and a 9 in center, Hank Bauer a 6 and a 5 in right. Andy Carey is a 5 at third. Gil McDougald a 7 and a 10 at short. Jerry Coleman a 5 and a 6 at second. Bill Skowron is a 6 at first. Yogi Berra a 10 and a 9 behind the plate. Sturdivant not much of a fielder. He is a 2 with a .923 fielding percentage. Carrasquel at .247, 4 homers and 17 RBI. Yeah, okay, AP, no high or low. That is a rule that I'm not sure how you would do that on the tabletop, to be honest. Yeah, that's my thoughts on pocket pennant run too there, Dave. So here's Carrasquel. Sturdivant starts his evening with a fly ball shallow left. Seaburn will make the catch. One out. I was told that Brent DeHart made the stadium by Brent DeHart, or at least found it. It is a nice looking stadium. Sunset, which would be about right here. Gene Woodling at .246, 2 homers and 6 RBI. Yeah. I agree. Pitch to Woodling. There is a ground ball. McDougald by the bag at second has to make a bang-banger to first, and Woodling beat it out. So an infield hit for Gene Woodling, first base runner for anybody, and here's future Yankee GM Al Rosen, hitting .227, 4 homers, and 24 RBI. And what gets lost here, because the Yankees in real life, this is their first of 3 straight trips to the World Series, is that this is the 54 American League champion, the Indians, the team that broke the Yankee run, and the 55, or the 50, American League champion, the New York Yankees. So a big one here in Cleveland. Pitch to Rosen. Al puts this one in the left. That will be dumped in front of Seaburn. Woodling will hold at second. So it's first and second, 1 out for Wirtz. I hit one too many buttons. Wirtz at .265, 18 homers, and 44 RBI. So Woodling on second, Rosen on first. Sturdivant, who in real life will go 16 and 8 with 5 saves, and an earned run average of .330. Again, one of the big reasons why the Yankees won the American League in 1956 in real life. Wirtz grounds this one past Coleman to Bauer in right field, and they will hold Woodley up at third. You got a coin flip, and Bauer has a decent arm. For Al Smith, hitting .258, 3 homers, and 28 RBI. Any ideas what the upgrade would include? We hope to have him on soon on the show. I don't know off the top of my head. He's been teasing a lot of statistical stuff in his Facebook group, and I know there's more integration. If you are a fan of Status Pro, you can now do an entire replay of that even if you don't play the games. And I believe Derek, who is the brains behind the current iteration of Status Pro Advanced, has made some advancements in that game too. So really, even if you don't use another game with it, if you just use what's there, you get pretty much 3 games in one. You get Digital Diamond, Status Pro, and Status Pro Advanced. Status Pro, by the way, is free. Status Pro Advanced, you need to buy the seasons. Al Smith, we gave you his numbers. Woodling on third, Rosen on second, Wirtz on first. Pitch to Smith, fly ball left field. Back goes Seaburn to the wall, and that is gone. A grand slam for Al Smith. And the Indians are whooping it up. It's 4-0 Cleveland with 1 out here in the first. As Mikey slams his computer closed in disgust. Here's the pitch again. Smith just got all of that one. Sturdivant took a lot off it. I think that was a changeup. And that ball was crushed. So the Yankees will have some work to do. 4 runs on 4 hits. Here's Avila. Bobby at .250, 4 homers and 17 RBI. So I think that's the short list there, Dave. Pitch to Avila. That is right back to Sturdivant. Throws to Skowron, and there's 2 out. For Jim Busby, hitting .256, 8 homers and 28 RBI. Sturdivant deals. That's up the box. McDougald in front of the bag. Throws to first, and that will do. However, Al Smith hits a grand slam to left center. And after 4 runs, 4 hits, and no errors, it's Cleveland 4, the Yankees nothing. Right into the empty seats. Again, you could have put 30,000 in the place. It would have been half full, and it still would have looked empty. So Barra, Skowron, and Bauer to face score here in the second. Yogi at 318, 15 homers, and 46 RBI. Into left center, Busby, 1 out. 77 degrees, or now 76 as I read that. The wind, what little there is, blowing out to that apartment building or whatever that is in right center at 2. A lot warmer than it would be for a Browns game for sure. Skowron at 268, 4 homers, and 26 RBI. Scores pitch. That is into right center for a base hit. Smith will throw it back in, and that's the first Yankee base runner. For Bauer, hitting 220, 6 homers, and 31 RBI. Scores pitch. Struck him out. That's 3 for score. Carey sat there and I think heard and could not see in the twilight an 0-2 fastball on the inside corner. So 2 out for Andy Carey. That wasn't Andy Carey. That was Hank Bauer that struck out. Andy Carey, pay attention, Ron, is hitting 255, 3 homers, and 31 RBI. Yes, Avalon Hill was the publisher of Status Pro when it went national. I think all their games, baseball, football, basketball, and hockey. And it's kind of gone into free domain. It is a good game and works for... You know, the first time I ever saw Status Pro was on Baseball Demos channel. Pitch to Carey. Struck him out. That's 4 for score. And the Yankees are done in the second. No runs, a hit, no errors. They leave on a runner, and that will do. After an inning and a half, Cleveland 4, New York nothing. So Hegan score and Carrasquel to face Sturdivant here in the second. Jim at 217, 2 homers, and 11 RBI. 77-78 season. Wes Unseld for basketball on the cover. The great game above the rim, which Wayne Pony was modded, is like a base 10 version of Status Pro basketball. Scott Yost is the one that he'll pop on here eventually. Is the one that does the most videos on it. It is a very good game. Pitch to Hegan. There is a fly ball left center field. Back goes Seaburn. 5-0 Indians. My word. So Sturdivant only gave up 15 in 158. Hegan smashes his third. That bounces to the football wall out there in left center. And the Indians are up 5-0. Any thoughts on season ticket baseball? Dave has played that. You get the demo, I think, with the 75 World Series and the 86 World Series. If you like season ticket football, I think you might like baseball. It's a complex game. Not difficult complex, but it's not a basic game. Score hitting 5 for 25, hitting 200 with 3 RBI. Some talk that he might computerize it at some point. Pitch to score, struck him out, so Sturdivant finally gets his first K. An 0-2 fastball that Score watched. 1 out, opening 9, not good for Sturdivant. 37 pitches, an inning and 2/3, 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned. The grand slam from Smith, the solo shot from Hegan, and a strikeout. Carrasquel is 0 for 1. How you doing, Barbara? Hope all is well with you. Hopefully you have a very nice day today. It's gorgeous up here. Sun is shining. Supposed to be in the 60s today. Carrasquel draws the walk. So Chico is on 1 out for Woodling, who singled and scored in the first. So this is not the start the Yankees want. And Woodland gets hit. Well, Sturdivant has none stuff today. And Woodling is hurt. Got him in the ribs. They'll spray some of that spray stuff on there. You're not supposed to be looking as Al Rosen takes a few practice hacks as they get Woodling put back together again. 5-0 Cleveland here in the second. Pitch to Rosen. There is a bounder to Skowron. And he boots it. He was thinking to go to McDougal to get Woodling at second, and Skowron forgot to pick up the baseball. So the bases are loaded, nobody out. Sounds like the Yankees did some partying on Friday night. For Vic Wertz, who singled and scored on the grand slam by Smith in the first. So for the second time in as many innings, the Indians have the bases loaded. Carrasquel on third, Woodling on second, Rosen on first for Wertz. You got rain in the 50s down where you are. That's not what you want. We all need some sun. It was nice today. Pitch to Wertz. Fly ball, shallow right. Bauer will make the catch for the out. Carrasquel has good speed and will tag and score without a throw. And the Indians are now up 6-0. For Al Smith, who had a grand slam his first time up, he now has 4 home runs. And now has driven in 32 on the year. Pitch to Smith. There's a bouncer to Skowron. Moose takes it to the bag, and that will do. Indians, the solo homer, and another one. 2 runs, a hit, and an error. The home run was Hegan, and after 2, it is 6-0 Cleveland. So Coleman, Sturdivant, and McDougal to face score here in the third. Jerry hitting .269, 7 for 26 and 3 RBI. I wonder if Billy Martin was hurt. Coleman rips one past Avila into right field, and the Yankees lead off with a single. Avila makes his 9th poor play of the year. So here's Tom, 3 for 7. Bunt situation, I would think. Wertz and Rosen play the corners. Coleman on first. Sturdivant does bunt. Rosen has it. Goes to Carrasquel for the out there. So there's no sacrifice. It's a fielder's choice. It goes 5-6, and there's 1 out. It's one of those days for the Yankees. If it wasn't for bad luck, they'd have no luck at all. McDougal struck out his first time up, opening 9 for score, 39 pitches, 2 1/3, 2 hits, and 4 strikeouts. So everything coming up Cleveland here early on with 1 out and a third. Score deals, and McDougal draws the walk. Score just, doesn't possess that great of a control, although that's his first walk of the evening. Full count pitch was high and in at 93. Brings up Seaburn, who struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Laps at practice for the bad bunt. Yep. I don't know. I don't think Casey worked him that hard, though, right? Pitch at Seaburn. Struck him out. 5 for score. A 1-2 fastball that, again, this time of night, you're just hearing it hit the glove. And for score on the 16th night of June, 1956, that's strikeout number 100. So here's Mantle. Mickey's 0 for 1. That is ripped past Carrasquel into left. Woodling will pick it up. Sturdivant will score. The throw goes into third, and it's a 6-1 ballgame for Yogi Berra, who's 0 for 1. So McDougal on second, Mantle on first. Yankees have 3 hits now. Berra, shallow right. Smith, happy days are here again. That will retire the side. Yankees get a run on 2 hits. And after 2.5 here in Cleveland, it's the Indians 6, New York 1. How you doing, David? Hopefully you get the chance soon to do some good weather rail fanning down in Nashville. It'll be Avila, Busby, and Hegan. to face Tom here in the third. Bobby 0 for 1. Ground ball to third. Carey over to Scowen. And Avila is retired. You know what I didn't hear this weekend watching the Masters? And we'll get into Rory at some point today. Normally when you watch, you hear lots of train sounds. They're right by the... is that the A-line? I think the A-line, which is the major southeast coast line, goes through Augusta. Now a CSX line. Used to be Seaboard, if I remember correctly. But I don't remember hearing any trains go through this time around. Jim Busby at 250. It was 0 for 1. Center field, Mantle, 2 out. For Hegan, who homered in the second. So Sturdivant has struggled. All 6 runs are his on the home runs. Hegan into right center for a base hit. So Jim is 2 for 2. I am correct. And parallel league, Dayton just gets a lot of fly balls. You're getting them from when I play at Crossley. You're getting them when I play in Cleveland. What do you got? Some sort of homing device in those balls? Here's Herb Score. He struck out his first time up. So, yeah, it was Seaboard. And so, no, I didn't hear any. I was surprised. Now, CBS and their infinite wisdom has been known to, in the past, sweeten their audio by adding birdie sounds. No, not the ones that DeChambeau and Rory were making, but so don't know how much of that was real, but yeah, there was no long train sounds this weekend. Pitch to Score, struck him out. So Sturdivant finally has a decent inning. No runs, a hit. Both teams have left on 3, and after 3, Indians 6, Yankees 1. So Scowen, Bauer, and Carey to face Score here in the fourth. Bill singled in the first, or his first time up. Lots of air traffic between Cleveland home runs and Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Yeah. Aren't some of those Area 51 things at Wright-Patterson? Just saying. Just saying. If you're looking for someone that might, have something that looks like a light torch or that, or looks a little gray and peaked, aren't they at Wright-Patterson? Pitch to Scowen, struck him out, 6 for Score. So 1 out, Scowen chased for Bauer, who struck out his first time up. Todd B. waving his Beat the Yankees hanky given out by Pete Franklin in the late 70s. That's cool. When WFAN started, after about a year, they brought in Pete Franklin from Cleveland. And if you want to, this is when they were still on 1050. And if you want to hear about, get off my lawn because I'm an old man, that was Pete Franklin. Drove my sisters nuts because in northern New England, pitch to Bauer, fly ball, center field, Busby will make the grab, and there's 2 out. Franklin would just have these epic rants, and my sisters were little like, what are you doing? He was replaced by, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of these people or not, kind of radio neophytes, but my memory is, one of those things. Mike Francesa and Christopher Russo were the ones that replaced. Whatever happened to them anyway? Pitch to Carey. That's into right field. Smith going back. Has to run. Makes the catch, and we're through 3.5. Yankees go in order. And after 3.5, Indians 6, Yankees 1. So here in the standings, Red Sox and Indians are tied at 31 and 23. The White Sox are a game and a half back at 26 and 21. Someone's going to remind me what I was talking about before Pete Franklin. The Yankees are in fourth, 2.5 back at 29 and 26. And the Tigers, Orioles, Washington, and Kansas City. And if you want to know how far ahead Score is in the strikeouts thing, here was the numbers pre-game. Billy Pierce is second in the American League at 76. So Score's lead is now 24 In the National League, Milwaukee by 1 over Brooklyn, 6 over Cincy. I think I was talking about Area 51. St. Louis 8 back than everyone else. Yankees hitting 265, third in the American League. Cleveland best pitching at 331, and pretty good defense at 978. Second behind surprising Washington. Carrasquel has walked and scored. 18 batters deep for Sturdivant, 70 pitches, 3 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs. The home runs to Smith and Hegan. A walk and 2 strikeouts. Jamie's score is starting to come. Yeah. Hanger 18. Wow. Yeah, Pete Franklin was a riot. 3 WE. There you go. Pete Franklin, no relation to Bonnie Franklin, but he would still take it one day at a time. He was a cranky old coot, wasn't he? They brought him in because he could host. I mean, it would be like Eddie Andelman coming down for Boston, and that wouldn't have worked either. Pitch to Carrasquel. That's into left center. Mantle moving over, and Mickey will make the catch. 1 out for Gene Woodling, who's got a single and a run scored. Don't encourage him, Barbara. I know he had a birthday yesterday. Don't encourage him. Pitch to Woodling. Fly ball right center. Back goes Mantle, and Mickey's had a busy inning. 2 out. For Rosen, who has singled and scored in this one, he's 1 for 2. Now, Joe Franklin on Channel 9 out of New York. You'd think I grew up in the New York metro area. Nope, northern New England. Channel, probably best known to most of you because Franklin's show was on at like some ungodly hour, like 1 or 1:30. But if you remember the year that Billy Crystal was on Saturday Night Live, so 84, 85, somewhere in there, and Crystal would do hello, I'm Joe Franklin. Tonight we have on Baseball Demos, who will do a shtick for you. Brought to you by Mort's Deli on 48th Street. Mort's, you can steal at this hour. Get your knishes and corned beef sandwiches. Remember, you get the brown mustard with it. Yeah. Pitch to Rosen. Struck him out. Sturdivant has settled in, but he's still trailing 6-1. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 4, Indians 6, Yankees 1. So Coleman, Sturdivant, and McDougal to face score here in the 5th. Jerry singled his first time up. Oh, Billy was great. You look marvelous. You must have had some pretty good insomnia because Franklin wasn't an 11 o'clock show. He did the radio show on WR 710 as well. And apparently, I mean, he was, known on Broadway and all that, and he never cleaned his office. Imagine trying to clean, so you had 50 years worth of schmutz to go through between pictures and notes and whatevers. The only other person that might be able to relate to on a national level is Gene Shalit, the great entertaining reviewer on the Today Show, who's still with us. He's retired, but he just turned 99. Pitch to Coleman. There is a bouncer up the middle, all the way to the wall, so it was a little harder hitting that, and Jerry's got a second double. That is the 4th hit for the Yankees. Sturdivant reached and scored his first time up. We do our best, Barbara. Now 99 years old. He stopped dyeing the hair. He was a hoot. There's an interview with him and Peter Sellers from 1980 on YouTube. And Gene he loses it. He is just, the laughter is just so contagious. Pitch to Tom, stays in the ballgame, struck him out. That's 7 for score. And 0-2 fastball got him looking. 1 out for McDougal, still trying to get that hitting streak to 17. Was walked and struck out today. Score 18 batters, 73 pitches, 4 1/3, 4 hits, a walk and 7 Ks. It's been a strong start for Herb. Got away from Hegan, and Coleman moves up 90. That split finger didn't split and bounced off the screen, so a 1-1 count. Bob Grant, oh yeah, also did some time on WABC, was the pre-Rush Limbaugh guy on WOR. Bob Grant, get off my phone. This channel, by the way, doesn't show any East Coast bias whatsoever. I don't know what you're talking about. Pitch to McDougal. There's a line drive to Avila, and Coleman has to go back to third. 2 out for Norm Seaburn, who's 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. That's, oh, Todd. Oh, let's hope People Magazine doesn't. I don't think he would get a cover. Betty White, national treasure that she was. And those things aren't weekly anymore, are they? I'm sure it's all special editions and all that. Died before her 100th. George Burns was supposed to play the Palladium in London on his 100th. Pitch to Seaburn. Struck him out. 8 for score. And on that note, you get the commercial. Halfway home on this drop-dead gorgeous Monday here in Burlington. Indians 6, Yankees 1. You joined us late. Here's how we got here. 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Cleveland. A run on 4 hits and an error for the Yankees. In the first, they got a grand slam from Al Smith to make it 4-0. In the second, Jim Hegan a solo shot to make it 5-0. And then Vic Wertz a sac fly to make it 6-0. The Yankees got one back on a Mickey Mantle RBI single in the third to make it 6-1, but that was it. Tom Sturdivant, 4 innings. 6 hits, 6 runs. The error from Skowron only changed that to 5 earned runs. The 2 homers, he walked 1 and struck out 3. Score, one of his better outings, at least on the channel. 5 innings, 4 hits. A run it was earned, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. Wertz singled, drove home his 45th and scored in this one. George Burns was quite bald. Don't know if you knew that or not. And of course, with the money he had, he didn't just have one hairpiece. Toupee doesn't seem like a very nice word for George Burns. He had 12. 6 that parted his hair to the left, and 6 that parted his hair to the right. Not making that up. Todd B. in rare form, he and Demos having drinks together today. Oh, God. Yes, I mentioned George Burns. You devil. That's a great movie with John Denver. Pitch to Wertz. Fly ball, right field. Bauer, 1 out. A sliding catch, too, for Bauer. His first great play of the year. Smith had the grand slam in the first, 1 for 2. He's now hit 4 home runs and driven in 32. Sturdivant's pitch struck him out, so Tom, after a very bad first 2 innings, has been very good the last 3. Here's Avila. Bobby is 0 for 2. Parallel League. Oh, you get a rim shot, too, for this. I used to have long, wavy hair. And then it waved goodbye. A moment of silence, please. All right, yep. Yeah, you two should start next. And not the George Burns, the baseball player from the 20s or 30s, or the PGA professional from the 70s and 80s. Pitch to Avila. There's a ground ball. Coleman cuts it off behind the bag, throws to first for the out. So down go the Indians in the fifth. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 5, Cleveland 6, Yankees 1. So Mantle, Berra, and Skowron to face Score here in the 6th. I posted something on Facebook this weekend from a Muppet page. It was Frumpy Old Men, and so it was Statler and Waldorf dressed up in fishing outfits, with Miss Piggy doing a Sophia Loren imitation and another Muppet dressed as a pig. That's what you guys remind me of. Pitch to Mantle, and Mickey drew the walk. I don't think Score minds that too much. Second walk given up by Herb. Here's Yogi. Yogi is 0 for 2. Frumpy Old Men. Yep. Yeah, that was perfect. I used to have hair. It grows in my nose and ears quite well, but not where I want it to go. Pitch to Berra. That's in the center. Busby makes the catch, and Mantle goes back to first. One out for Skowron. Bill 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out, and that error that the Yankees have is his. And he draws the walk. So the Yankees, their offense is good enough that no lead is safe, especially if Herb, who is at 94 pitches, starts to lose the strike zone like he has in this inning. Here's Bauer. Hank is 0 for 2 with a K. Score, if you're an Indian fan, could use a ground ball right about now. That's in the left field. That is a base hit. Mantle around third. Woodling does not have a great arm. He's thrown home. They're going to try to get the Mick at the plate, and he is in there. So now a 6-2 game. 1 out. Skowron on second. Bauer on first with a single. That's the 5th Yankee hit. And here is Andy Carey. Andy's 0 for 2 with a K. Score and Hegan have a word. Hegan trying to settle down his pitcher. Got him, number 9. A 2-2 fastball swung on and missed. For Jerry Coleman, who's having himself a pretty good day, he is singled and doubled. He's 2 for 2. Got him! Whatever Hegan said, Score took to heart. An 0-2 fastball that was chased, and after 5.5, the Yankees get a run. They got a hit, they leave on 2, and there are no errors. It's the Indians 6, the Yankees 2. For Busby, Hegan, and Score here in the bottom of the 6th to face Sturdivant. Jim is 0 for 2. Go Tribe. How you doing, PJ? There is a bounder to second. Coleman has it. Snap throw to first, and Busby is retired. For Hegan, Jim has had a pretty good evening. He has singled and homered. Al Smith a grand slam in the first. Hegan a home run in the second. Part of the 6-run attack Cleveland put on early. The Yankees have chipped 2 off it as we play the bottom of the 6th, 1 out. Left field, Seaburn, McDougal, 2 out for Score, who struck out twice. It is, again, a gorgeous night here in Cleveland. 70 degrees, clear skies, not a breath of wind. And Sturdivant got him again. That's 5 for Tom. Indians go in order. A 2-2 fastball that caught the inside corner, and that will retire the side. After 6 full here in Cleveland, it's the Indians 6, the Yankees 2. So let's see what they do with Tom. He is 0 for 2. He is struck out and somehow reached. I believe he had a bunt that went the wrong way. Stays in the game, and Score has fanned 11. And in 1956, that is a metric ton. He now has fanned 106 in 87 2/3. One out for McDougald, who is 0 for 2, a walk and a strikeout. So score 110 pitches, 6 1/3, 5 hits. He has walked 3 and struck out 11. That is a base hit left center field. Woodling will throw it back in, and McDougald has a hit. So both teams now have 6. Seaburn, again, not sure Casey knew who was starting in this one. Lefty versus lefty has taken the collar. Score has fanned him 3 times today. He is 0 for 3. Make it 4. That's 12 for Score. So Herb gives a snort. 2 out for Mickey Mantle, who was 1 for 2. He has singled, driven in his 50th run, and a walk, and a run scored. You can't beat you when you're up 4. Line drive left field. Woodling will let that drop in front of him. The throw to third is cut off by Carrasquel, and McDougald will take the base. So runners on the corners for Yogi Berra, who is 0 for 3. Score deals. Struck him out. 13. Stretch time. Indians 6, Yankees 2. So it'll be Carrasquel, Woodling, and Rosen here in the 7th. 0-2 fastball inside, and Score worked around the 2 hits. And it's 6-2. Chico 0 for 2. A walk and a run scored. Sturdivant, 102 pitches, 27 batters, 6 innings, 6 hits. The home runs to Smith and Hegan, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Yeah, we talked about 3WE earlier, Todd, and they would come into where I lived growing up, so I could hear Herb Score. I heard him one night, Cleveland and Milwaukee. Odell Jones nearly took a no-hitter into the 9th for Milwaukee, and Score was genuinely excited. And so Todd B talks about listening to Score, and now Tom Hamilton on the radio for the Guardians for a ton of years. It is a treat. There really is a special relationship between an announcer and his team, as Dave Gardner can attest, because his Northern Cyclones won the top-level New England division of American Junior Hockey. They won that in 4 games. If you didn't catch Dave over the weekend, the Cyclones, their last home game of the season, trailed 3-1 after 2, and then put up 5 goals in the 3rd period. Pitch to Carrasquel is a ground ball to Carey. Andy throws to first, and Chico is retired. So, yep, you could get that in Nashville, David says. We never got WSM up here, though, David. Gene Woodling, 1 for 2, a single and a run scored. I think WNBC or WFAN, both on 66, were powerful enough to knock it out, and you'd have to point the antenna the same way. Pitch to Woodling. There is a ground ball foul, first base side, and somebody from Erie, Pennsylvania made that grab. There is a great air check of WSM from the mid-70s, and they're not a country station at that point. It's Pat Sajak playing MORAC stuff. It's so wild. Pitch to Woodling. Gene pops it up. Berra to the screen. Makes the catch against the screen. I was about to say it doesn't have a play. It's Yogi. Of course he does. 2 out. For Al Rosen, 1 for 3. He has singled and scored. How you doing, Triple G? Yep, KMOX in Ohio, sure. Jack Buck, Harry Carey, Mike Shannon, 11:20, Cardinal baseball. So the P-Jet saw the greatest video with Keith Hernandez talking strat on this Is a Great Game or What channel. Keith getting giddy, showing off cards like the rest of us nerds. Yeah, when he was in the Mets Hall of Fame, he was presented with a portrait of himself made from his baseball and strat cards. He was a weatherman in Nashville, yep. Absolutely. Before he went out to L.A. and did that cameo in one of the airplane movies. Pitch to Rosen, and Al draws the walk. So Rosen is on, 1 on, 2 out. Cleveland up 6-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Warts 1 for 2, and is singled. Driven in a run is 45th, and scored is 35th. Wouldn't that be fun if Todd, if Keith did buy strat? Pitch Barra and Sturdivant have a word. Tom delivers, and Wirtz draws the walk. This has not been a red letter day for Mr. Sturdivant. He gave up 6 in the first 2 innings, and then found the zone. And with 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th, it might be time for him to be out of the zone. Al Smith hit that grand slam in the first. He's 1 for 3. He's also struck out. How you doing, Mike in the truck? Smith in the right center field. That's going to get down for extra bases. Mantle plays it off the chain link fence. Rosen will score. Wirtz is around third. Smith's having a Baseball Digest day. That's his 12th double of the year, his 6th RBI of the day, and it's an 8-2 game, and Don Larson will come in to pitch. So Sturdivant out, Larson in. Pitching change coming to you from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. For Larson, he did make 18 relief appearances. This will be his second. He is 4-4 on the replay with a 3.86 ERA. 27 years old, fastball at 87, and the fly ball pitcher. He hasn't pitched in about a week. It was against Cleveland, and no decision in a 4-3 loss. 8 2/3, 142 pitches. 6 innings, 3 runs, all earned. The home run, 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. Against the Tigers on June 3rd, he threw a 1-hitter in a 3-2 win, but the 1 hit was a 2-run homer, or was a home run. 84 innings for Larson. Overall, 59 hits, 37 runs, 36 earned, 9 home runs. He has walked 38 and struck out 49. So Al Smith, big old smirk on second base, 2 out for Avila, who's 0 for 3. Keith showed the old Red Game box that his father took out of his luggage, PJ says, before he left for the Cardinals training camp. We've talked about that. That's absolutely true. You were there to play. Be serious. Pitch to Avila. There's a fly ball, right center, Bauer. And Larson will finish the inning. 2 runs, a hit. They do not double switch, so Larson will bat 9th. 2 runs, a hit. Al Smith is driven in 6. After 7, Indians 8, Yankees 2. So Skowron, Bauer, and Carey to face score here in the 8th. Did Rory get my blood pressure up yesterday for about 2.5 hours, Brent? Oh, my gosh. That was something, wasn't it? I had 2 bets on the Masters, and it wasn't until we were all done did I know whether both bets would hit or none of them would hit. They both hit. I did quite well yesterday. Pitch to Skowron, ball 4. So I had 5 on Rory to win. I made that bet Wednesday at plus 650. So I made some money off of that. Here's Bauer. Hank 1 for 3. He has singled and driven in a run. I also had DeChambeau finishing in the top 5. And that paid plus 220. So 5 on Rory and 5 on DeChambeau. And it wasn't until Oberg made a mess of the 18th yesterday did DeChambeau creep back into the top 5. Yeah, that was heart-stopping stuff. Oh my goodness, the last 2 hours yesterday. I mean, what was Rory doing on 13, dumping that in the water? Pitch to Bauer. There is a ground ball, might be 2. Carrasquel, Avila for 1, Wirtz for 2. And that is a 6-4-3 double play. 2 out for Andy Carey, who has struck out twice. He's 0 for 3. I'm screaming at the screen with Rory on the 18th tee yesterday, the first time. 3-wood, iron, 2-putt. Takes out the driver. Okay, Vandevelde. So the short answer to that, Brent, was yes, he did. Carey strikes out 3 times today. Score is struck out 14. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Yankees again put base runners on but cannot do anything with them. No runs, no hits, no errors. The walk doesn't hurt. After 7.5, Cleveland 8, Yankees 2. You think the iron he hit on 10 got in his head? Yeah. You know, the thing with Rory, it'll be Busby, Hegan, and Score here in the bottom of the 8th. Jim is 0 for 3. Is that he's the closest thing to a magician since Tiger. But he has such a hard time keeping that together for 18 holes. And his failures are as spectacular as his successes. I mean, that shot Saturday into 15, the shot Sunday into 15. And with Rose looking at that birdie in the playoff yesterday, and for Rory to spin that in there to 4 feet, I mean, I wouldn't put money on him winning the Grand Slam, but something tells me that this isn't his only major this year. Remember, the Open Championship is in Northern Ireland this year. It's at Royal Portrush. Pitch to Busby. That's into center field for a base hit. 8th hit for Cleveland. Hegan has the other home run. He's 2 for 3. All right, Andrew, have a good one. Hegan into left center. Seaburn coming in. Norm will make that catch. Sliding catch, too, so good play. Threw it to McDougald. 1 out. Score will bat. We'll try to give Herb the complete game here. Herb 0 for 3. He has struck out all 3 times. Larson's pitch. Make it 4. That is, you just get in the box and swing. The crowd doesn't like it. Score has struck out 4 times, but when you've struck out 14 yourself, you can do whatever you want. He just kind of giggles. That was a ball, but again, you're up 6. Do you care? Not really. Carrasquel 0 for 3. A walk and a run scored. So, can you imagine that? Rory had 11 years to think about that. And remember, Brent talked about the iron on the 10th hole back in 2011, where you went from being king of the hill to looking like the kid that's there to mow your lawn in the cabins. Pitch to Carrasquel. There is a fly ball, left field. Back goes Seaburn, and that's another home run. That's up by the football press box. How about that? So for Chico, that's his 5th of the year, and the Indians are up 10-2. Statement made this afternoon. Seaburn just turned and watched it go. Yeah, Triple G, sometimes it is nice to see the pros make horrible golf shots so you can say, well, I could have done that. You know, the thing is, you're pumping So much adrenaline. So much adrenaline. And I think in Rory's case, when he put the foot on the throttle, he hit some magnificent shots. And when he went into Tiger mode and tried to be cautious around there is when he got into trouble. Gene Woodling 1 for 3. He has singled and scored. I remember when John Daly won his Open Championship at St. Andrews. And Daly, being the long hitter that he is, and this shot got him into trouble. Jack Nicklaus was on the broadcast, and Jack was dry, but you would learn a lot. And Jack is going to Daly as he's sitting there with his practice drive, swings. Put the driver away. And for those of us who are old enough, and that would be all of you, Jean Vandevelde at Carnoustie in 99, put the driver away. And so, on 18 for Rory, a 3-wood, just put the ball in play. Pitch to Woodling. There is a ground ball to Carey. Andy has it, throws to Skowron, and Woodling is retired. And so we go to the top of the 9. 2 more runs on the home run by Carrasquel. On 2 hits, it's Cleveland 10, the Yankees 2. So Coleman, Larson, Spot, and McDougal to face Score here in the 9th. Herb has struck out 14. Won't be enough to give him the Digital Dice MVP. That's Smith. The Yankees 8 to tie. 9 to go ahead. Coleman 2 for 3. He is single, doubled, and struck out. You never know what you're going to get, Barbara, when you're watching a stream. Comedy. I haven't sung yet today, don't ask. Baseball for sure. And serious golf talk. Pitch to Coleman. There is a ground ball to Avila. Has to hurry. Throws towards 1 out. Coleman was motoring down the line, and Avila threw a sidearm 1 away. If Larson bats, I'm not sure what the computer will do here, 194 with an RBI. Tommy Carroll. You don't want me to sing. Tommy Carroll was absent pitcher day. 2 for 3. Everything he's done as a pinch hitter. He is 20 years old. Has an RBI. He has struck out once and scored twice. Score deals. Left center, Busby. Last Chance Saloon, 2 out. I'm glad you're having fun, Barbara. With your Wednesday and Thursday this week at noon Eastern. Gil McDougal, 1 for 3. He has singled, walked, and struck out. So Score has struck out 14. And Smith has driven in 6. I'll give you the numbers for Score. 36 batters, 143 pitches, 8 2/3, 7 hits. He has walked 4. Both the runs are earned, and he has struck out 14. McDougal, 1 for 3. A single, a walk, and a strikeout. I'd love to see Score end this with a K, wouldn't you? Wines and deals. Popped up. At least McDougal's hitting streak is 16. Carrasquel waits, and the Indians win this one 10-2. Yankee fans will send me all sorts of nasty grams. 2 hours and 48 fake minutes. For the Indians, right screen, Ron. 10 runs, 9 hits, no errors. I still have no idea what that song is, Parallel League. 32 and 23, 10 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They only left on 4. They were mad efficient today. The Yankees, 2 runs, 7 hits, an error. Who can hit a righty? Wasn't the Yankees today? There we go. They leave on 8. Computer gives Herb Score the MVP. 9 innings. He's finally now at 500, 6 and 6. 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 4 and struck out 14. He didn't even have plus stuff. Todd B getting drunk at his lunchtime. Sturdivant didn't have minus stuff. He just, 6 2/3, 7 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned. The 2 homers, Hegan and Smith, 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. Don Larson, an inning and a third, 2 hits, 2 runs, the home run to Carrascal, and a strikeout. And Al Smith, 2 for 4 with 6 RBI, gets the Digital Dice MVP. It's a joke on whether or not it's a real song. I just want you to sing after I'm gone. That means later. Yeah, I was robbed on the computer. Todd B sings it in his replays. Oh. I'm going to send you some Vegemite sandwiches there, demos. Ryan really wants to sing Who Can It Be Now for all of you men at work. Who can it be knocking at my door? Boom, 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 boom. So with that, that is your long-distance request and dedication. Cleveland goes up a half game on the Red Sox. The Yankees fall 3.5 back. Let's do the rest of this Saturday in baseball for you. What a game for Smith, that grand slam. That's a big win for the Indians. Pirates beat the Cardinals 7-2. Friend goes to 5-6. Waymeyer 3-2. Dick Groat goes 4 for 5. Brooklyn beats Milwaukee. They are now tied 3-2. The final. Labine 2-1. Ernie Johnson 2-4. Now takes a loss. Gil Hodges 2 for 4. Hits his 12th. Redlegs go in the Polo Grounds and beat the Giants 7-5-10. Hirsch Freeman gets the win 5-2. Grissom 1-2 takes a loss. Brandt 3 for 5 hits his second and drives in 3. Trying to see, there's a whole mess of things to read here. Philadelphia beats the Cubs at Connie Mack 6-3. Rogovin gets his first win, gets off the schneid 1-6. Kaiser falls to 1-2. Lopata 3 for 4 hits his 12th with a double. Tigers. Steve Gromick, a 4-hit shutout. They beat the Red Sox 4-0. Brewer falls to 7-3. Gromick 3 for 4. Maxwell 2 for 3, hits his 9th and drives in 3. The White Sox, Jack Harshman takes the loss. He strikes out 10. They walk 10. And Washington continues to hang in there. They beat the Chi Sox 4-3. Griggs 3 4. Chocolis picks up his 4th save. And the Athletics beat the Orioles 6-5-10. Bobby Shantz, who's still with us, goes 2-2. Ferrarsi 3-1. Gus Triandos 4 for 5 with a double. Wouldn't it be Ron Men at Work? Or am I going to preview a review? At some point, we're hoping to have him on, Sean. Probably it won't be today. I'm glad that you like that. So here we go. So here's what we got for you. Wednesday, June 20th. We have Boston, Cleveland. I get a residual from the Herb Score Foundation versus Porterfield because that is the top 2 teams, and Cleveland at the moment is in first place. When we're with you Thursday at lunch, it'll be the Redlegs and the Dodgers, Brooks Lawrence and Sal Magley. And that will do it for the day. So at some point we'll do Digital Diamond. I don't know if he will give us a code for that or not. It is today, and if you are buying it today, hold off on the library so people can download the game, because that's coming off of his server, I believe. That's how it worked last year. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ron Juckett. We will talk to you on Wednesday for the Red Sox and the Indians from Cleveland. And I got to make sure that I had the Red Sox checked. Have a good one. Bye-bye.